I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome to another edition or episode, whichever you prefer, of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. You know it's WURDradio.com. Today is Thursday, April 6th. I cannot believe that. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. We're already in April, and here we are dealing with this. I shouldn't even say dealing because God, I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I'm enjoying this warmth, okay? I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I don't want the alternative. Listen, I hope you're out there enjoying it too. Well, actually, I hope you're out there, but you're checking us out. You're hanging out with us. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. And because I hope that, I want to thank you in advance for spending your time, your energy, and your attention with us. You are so appreciated. Okay. I want you to know that. I need you to know that. And for any of you, you know, I say this every single show. For anybody whose light is shining dimly, because I know it's shining, but if it's just shining dimly today, just know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. And I am personally sending you some extra love and hugs to each and every one of you. Okay. Because we need to get that vibration a little higher. That's what we want to do. I want to say hello to our family members on our socials. Hey there, Raphael. How you doing? How are you doing today? I'm doing a check-in. I see the good evening, but are you good? Are you good? Is all well? Is all well? Family, we have an amazing show for you tonight. I'd like to believe every show is amazing because I'm happy about every single guest that we have. But I strongly encourage you to always join the conversation, as you know that I do. And you can do so by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And you can feel free to leave us some love on our socials as well, because we welcome that. Okay, so now I've done a lot of talking. I know I have. And the time goes by so quickly. So let's jump in. Let's jump in. Our guest tonight, okay, she is, well, she's known to be the fearless, magnified educator. Isn't that wonderful? An award-winning filmmaker, best-selling author, internationally recognized motivational speaker, transformational health and wellness lifestyle expert who's been featured on ABC, CBS, Dr. Oz, Huffington Post, and in Women's World magazine. Now, that's just to name a few, okay? A survivor of sexual child abuse and domestic violence, forced what would become a new life narrative as she transformed into this powerhouse that she is today. There's so much more about her that I want you to know, but I don't want to be the one to tell it all to you. And guess what? She's brought some friends. Okay. Later on, you're going to meet all of them, but I would like for you to first meet Carolyn Wilson. Well, hello there, beautiful.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
You know I won't complain. I
I,
can't do
I,
it.
I know that's right. I
I
know
can't
that's
do
right.
it. First, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by, spending
Oh,
some time with us, joining us
yes.
here and for sharing, for sharing, because I know some topics are, a little hard to discuss. So thank you for
Yeah.
coming to share and talk about life with us
Yes.
because we
Love and life.
appreciate that. And for bringing friends.
I know, right? It's good to have friends. It's good. It's good. Listen, my thing is, I know the spotlight, we're going to turn, I got the spotlight on me, right? But I like to put it on. I like to turn the house lights on, right?
I
That's what
know.
I just did. I just turned the house lights on.
I'm not mad at
Everybody come up on this stage with me. It's just not me because I
I'm
don't
not
do all
mad.
this by myself.
Thank you. I say it all the time. I say it all the time. With well, my mother used to say, no man is an island. She would say that all the
That part.
time.
That part.
So, family, what I want to make you aware of is that Carolyn and I, we went to high school together.
Yes,
This
we do.
powerhouse here, this phenomenal woman and I, we went to high school together. Do you believe it?
Umpteen years ago, but no, we can say it 'cause we look good.
Well, no, how about happy to be here?
That
Okay,
part.
happy to be here. Above anything else, happy to
Exactly.
be here. But this is
Exactly.
okay. So I
Shout
want.
out to the girls at the Hollahan High.
I was about to say I want to acknowledge and recognize,
I
especially
don't know
since
how
they
I can
just
do an H,
closed it,
but
right? They just closed Hallahan. So yes,
I
shout out,
know.
shout out. So family, if you just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. I've asked Carolyn to come and talk with us. I'm sorry. I've asked Carolyn to come talk with us about life.
I said I
She
was
has some.
sharing the platform. I didn't know I was sharing it.
Listen, you see my fur child. I know for those who are, I think there was some wind must be whipping up or something because she's getting a little scared and now she's interrupting. But
She's
how
like,
about
people,
this?
people,
Yeah,
we got friends.
I
She's like, we got
know,
friends. We have friends.
I know. Family, y'all know, you all have met Chloe. You've seen Chloe. Chloe is my fur child, my fur daughter, for some. But you've met her, and she's getting a little unnerved, unrustled. I can't even get the word right. She's restless. In any event, Carolyn, I want to get
Yes,
back to
Carol.
you, and I want first for you to tell everybody. They know that we went to high school together, so they know that you have some roots in Philadelphia. But
Yes.
tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, yeah, it's just a little snippet. It's kind of crazy because I have, when your producer asked for my bio, he's like, oh, about 4 or 5 lines. And I'm like, okay, so which one am I sending? Because I have a whole document full of bios, different
I don't doubt it.
variations,
I don't doubt it.
different variations. Some are this long, some are this short. So I was like, so what's going to encompass the most? And I was like,
Mhm,
this might work. We'll see. Because there's so much more. But I believe that's all of us. Like there's so
mhm,
much more than just what's written on our bio. So first and foremost, I am a child of the Most High. My I choose as God. And so that has allowed me to be here in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Regardless of what we see on the news, there is love, there is life in
agreed,
our city.
agreed.
There's hope for our city. There is just because of people like us, right? And then we let this light shine.
Mm,
I say I'm the fearless magnified educator, but there's a whole story behind that. But I will tell you that I know that I'm a beacon. And I'm also this, I don't know, God is just literally just gave me this assignment. And we'll get
mhm,
into it when I bring my friends on, what this greater assignment has been to really just, I say, pollinate the world. Like right now it's springtime and everything is popping up right now. So
mhm,
this love and light and love, with all of our stories, we're pollinating the world. I am a survivor of sexual child abuse. So I find this not coincidental, but I see this very on providence, basically everything
mhm,
that's divine order for
mhm.
for us to have this interview and this conversation today during this month and on this day, particularly as it's Teal Day, as war was celebrating, this was being celebrated all around the city for survivors of sexual child abuse and sexual assault. So I am a survivor, an overcomer, a thriver, whatever word narrative you want to put on it, right? But the thing is, that doesn't define me. I created a new narrative. God has allowed me to create a new narrative with my story, and I use my story as power. And that story is literally to allow other people to understand that they can have a good life after past trauma and abuse, no matter what their narrative looks like, no matter what society tells them they should have behind them. I am, we went to Holland, yes, but you didn't know that these things were happening to me while we were in school, right? No one knew. No one knew. That's usually the case. No one knows because we're silent. And then that silence goes on for the rest of our life. And then we wonder why things are off and there's a disconnect. And it's usually because the things that we were carrying or holding on to that just never belonged to us in the first place.
I had no idea. Was this all during high school?
Yeah, this was from an infant up until my teenage year while we were still in Holland. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Oh my
ma'am.
Lord.
Yeah.
Was this a family member or was this someone
Yes,
close?
this was my biological father. This was my daddy.
Oh,
Yeah. So that set a foundation for domestic violence to come into my life. That set a, because you remember in high school, I was the quiet, crazy one.
But you were always fun loving. You were always nice to everybody. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, plus I also came to school later than everyone else. So I just kind of got thrown into the midst. You guys were already had formed your groups and your cliques and all those things. And I didn't come to school until April or May of our freshman year because I have scoliosis. So I had to go through back surgery. And so I had all of these things. I came with what was it? It was, oh my God, what the heck was it? It was a back brace. And I remember I had special, I can get on the elevator. That was cool. I kept getting stuck in the chairs because my brace kept getting stuck in the in the desk.
Horrible.
It let me out. Like, it was interesting. So, at the time, no one really knew that I would, I had low self-esteem. Because when you're a teenager, first and foremost, I had this thing happening to me with my dad, right? Then I have this scoliosis, and then I just looked different, felt different. I was just different all the way around, and I didn't have an outlet to express it other than the things that we did in school, right? Like being a cheerleader, being on the track team, being what was I? I was one of the leaders in the homeroom. I can't even remember. The guidance rep. I had no guidance whatsoever, and I was the guidance rep.
Get out of no, but you did. The strength that you no, the strength that manifested years later. It was already there. It was in
years later. I had no clue. It
was there.
It was already there. It was already there. But it took me a long time to really figure it out. To really really figure it out. And we say years. So here's the thing. And so anyone that's out there that can say, wow, this is me too. Because there's a lot of people that says it's me too. Unfortunately, it's more than what you think. It's literally, we're going to put talk about the ugly elephant in the room. The statistics state that it's 1 in 4 women and 1 in 5 men that are sexually abused, right? Or domestic violence. Those are usually the statistics, right? I'm going to debunk all of that and tell you it's the other way around. So it's the one that wasn't. See, those numbers only come from the ones who tell. So there's so many people that I've run into in my walk, in this journey over the years around the world who, after they hear me talk, they go, yeah, me too. I've never told anyone. I've had people come to me and now this is their first time in years. Carol, can you imagine holding on to something for 40, 50, 60, 70 years?
No, I
holding
can't.
on to this secret that's eating at you, and then it permeates in every aspect of your life, and you can't understand why your marriages go wrong. You can't understand why your businesses fail. You can't understand why you don't get along with your coworkers, why you have issues with your family, why you have issues with your neighbors, why you just have issues.
Carol,
It
I
stems from
cannot
things that we're
imagine.
holding on to that we just don't release.
Wait, now I have a question because this is
Yeah,
something I don't know. Where are you an only child?
I am.
Only
Well, pause,
child.
pause.
Okay.
I'm an only child. Watch this. I'm an only child that just happens to have a little sister.
How does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me explain something to you.
Okay.
So I'm an only child. Grew up as an only child, and so when I just talked about, those are the things that has happened to me, and I have allowed other things to transpire in my life. 'Cause that was the foundation, right?
Okay.
And you
Okay.
don't know your worth. You don't know you accept anything and everything for the most part because you don't know. My teacher taught me something different, right? Told
Mhm.
me not to value myself. So therefore, I allowed other people to not value me either, right?
Your
So
teacher told you this?
my teacher, which was my father, yes,
Oh,
he was my
okay.
teacher, right?
Okay. Okay. I'm with you now. Okay.
Right? So that was the daddy love that I received. I'm the dad girl, I'm the girlless dad or dadless girl, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that allowed that foundation for other things statistically to happen in my life. Domestic violence, that happened. Being a single parent, that happened. A teenage parent, that happened. Let
Mhm.
me see. Multiple baby daddies, that happened. Being on welfare, that happened. Oh, having bouts with homelessness, yeah, that happened too. Being expelled from school, all of the things that happened to this chick right here. But
Carol,
look at your face. You're like, what?
uh, Carol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Girl, listen. This show 2 hours, right?
It is. It is. That's a lot.
It is a lot. But guess what?
But
I
praise God. First of
praise
all, okay,
God, but
family.
God.
Family, if you've just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. I'm just going to give a blanket apology because my fur child seems to be having some issues tonight. This is a first, okay? This has never happened before in life. And my baby is working through something. For those of you who cannot see us, if you could, you would see her, and she's working through something, and I'm going to handle that in a moment. But for right now, Carol, I am trying to process all of what you just said to me, all of those life experiences, and all of these things happened while you were young.
Yeah, yeah. From an
You
infant until my teenage years.
were a
Exactly.
baby.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know. Okay. And kudos to you. I do know. I was about to say I don't know how, but I do know how. I do know how because I know God very well. So I do know how. But
Yes.
I have so many questions about how your other family members. Like, was there anyone that was aware, or what was the dynamic there? What was happening at home?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It's one of those things where from what I understood, they were like, well, they didn't really understand or think anything to that effect, but it almost didn't surprise them when they realized it. But they didn't know. And it was like, now that it's almost like a guilt on their end, like we didn't know. It was a case where my mother was she was very docile. So it
Okay.
was a very controlling environment. She was sickly a lot. So she used to get grand mal seizure. So she had epilepsy.
Okay.
So she was medicated a lot. She was always tired. So he just always had access to me, right? He just always had access. So hey,
Mm.
that's the thing. When you have access, then there you go.
You know what? Oh my goodness, family. Hi there. I see that we have a few family members that have joined us on our socials. Raphael, we gave you a hello earlier, so I'm sending another hello to you. Tanisha, hi there. She says hello, everyone. April Perkins, Joey Dixon. Hi, family.
That's part
Listen,
of the extended family, the friends that
I
pop
love
on.
it. I love it. I love it. Listen, family, if you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to do so. You can do so by calling 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We're going to take a short commercial break, and I'm going to tend to my fur child for this moment to get her together. But stay with us, okay? Because we'll be right back.
Here's what you missed on Wake Up with WURD.
So the indictment of Donald Trump has been unsealed, and we now know he's been charged with 34 felony counts. Though the statement of facts is publicly available, the evidence is not. Still, Trump's lawyers and backers claim the case against Trump is weak. Lynn, what do you see in the facts of this case?
Well, you correctly noted that the facts on this case were not listed in the indictment. The indictment just lists 34 counts of falsifying records in the first degree. And it's essentially the same language. So when you hear, the media pundits say, "Oh, well, there's nothing in there. It's a weak case. We expected to see more." Well, the prosecutor's not going to throw all his cards down until trial. In one way, it is true that the indictment that was released to the public is very light. However, we know what the dude did. He had an affair with that porn star, obscured the fact that he had this affair, an affair that he had when his wife was pregnant with his youngest son. He paid her $130,000. And then to conceal that payment, he had it done through legal expenses. So he did falsify business records.
Tune in to Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
In honor of our 20th anniversary, WURD presents a new podcast archiving our history and the history of our beloved city. Vintage WURD Season 1 is a weekly journey into the WURD archives, reconnecting with classic shows and beloved hosts. Tune in this Sunday at 11 a.m. for a vintage episode of The Pursuit of Truth with Reggie Bryant. That's Vintage WURD this Sunday at 11 a.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
If you use Medicaid or medical assistance in PA, then you must complete a renewal each year to continue your coverage. Visit the official government website, dhs.pa.gov/compass, to check your renewal date. Make sure your contact information is correct. Sign up for texts and emails about important benefits information and more. Don't risk your medical coverage. Visit dhs.pa.gov/compass today. Message provided by CBH, your key to mental wellness.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. We've been talking with none other than Carolyn Wilson. And before the break, she shared with us part of her journey, just a part. And what she shared with us was so, oh my goodness, the magnitude of it all. Um, Carol, I like I said, I have so many questions, and I know because I want to get to the friends that you brought along. I want to get to so many things, but I'm curious to know, like, how did when did the beginning? I want to know when it ended. Like, when was the beginning of your transformation? Like, how did you begin to heal? I know there's so much to unpack in there, but
Yeah.
saying that this ended in your teenage years. Like,
Yes.
did you have therapy? Did you seek help? Was it just prayer? Was it, I mean, because that's help alone, but was there
all of that, all that and some, but it did not happen until about 7 years, 8 years ago.
wow.
Yeah.
So
That
for the
was the pinnacle
majority
moment.
like you said, you had all of these other life experiences as a result of what you were carrying
Yes.
from that stemmed from that one
Mhm.
experience.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
all the while here we are, we were in high school together and I was none the wiser.
None the wiser. And then here's the thing. So for you to say that, yeah, I was always like this spirit about me, that means it was already there. Like
Mhm.
that was already truly innately who I was at my core. It's just
Mhm.
that this other stuff was a shroud over me, right? It wasn't mine to carry. It wasn't my own, it wasn't my burden to carry. But at my core, this is who I always was. I just never knew it because it was never tapped into, it was never developed properly, right? So
Wow.
I had to now search for me. And that happened when you said, am I only child? And I said, well, I'm an only child that happens to have a little sister, is because, you know, in this time period when you kind of you get a point in your life when you start looking at things and you start saying things don't match, right? Because here it is, I became an overachiever. Yes, I did. I was the person who, I always wanted to be in a place where people wouldn't expect me to be. And in this healing process, I kind of dug back and realized why that was the case. And that stemmed from my grandfather letting me know that when I got pregnant, he said, "Oh, your life is ruined." So subconsciously, made a vow to myself that, okay, watch what I do. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
in places and spaces where you would never expect me to be, since you said my life is ruined. See, we don't understand the words that we put on people at the time and
Mhm.
the place when I needed people the most, because I was at a vulnerable time in my life when I was now disclosing what my father was doing to me. And at the exact same time when this happened, my grandmother passed. And so now my voice got silenced due to the mourning of my grandmother. And so now, now when I get hit with that, now it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go where the love is at. So, and I went, my other grandmother was like, all right, well, what we going to do? Like, she was the one that was there that kept me grounded. And I love my grandmother for that. I mean, she's 94 going on 90, she's 94 and a half. She will let you know. She said, every month counts, every day counts. She'll be
I know that's
95.
right. I know
And
that's
she always says, like, she's always been that voice of reason without judgment, and that's why I love her so dearly, because I really attribute, and I know a lot of people don't have that opportunity and have
right.
that, but when I really start digging down, when I start feeling like my life was ruined, my life was a mess, and then I had to think, I said, wait a minute, I my life wasn't that bad after all, even with all that stuff. Like, I had to find
Mhm.
the greatness in my life, and that's because my grandmother created, just in that all that chaos, she created something that allowed
Mhm.
me to tap in to who I already was.
A
So
safe
now,
space.
yeah, yeah, seriously. So now here we are. I said, okay, God, this doesn't make any sense. Here it is. I am now serving on boards. I'm down, sir. I'm doing the doggone thing for the city of Philadelphia, right? I'm
Mhm.
serving on boards. I'm the first African American chairperson for an organization that's been in existence for over 100 years. I'm making decisions that's changing law. Like, I'm doing the ding dang thing, right? saving people and being and creating situations for women who were like me while I was still in it. Who does that? This one that was happening. I said, this doesn't make any sense. Here it is. I'm in boardrooms. I'm in here with dignitaries and city officials, and I'm in this space, but yet I still feel me personally. I still felt like that 18-year-old in line for welfare. But yet I'm making decisions. I'm running organizations, but I didn't feel like I matched the table that I was placed at. See, but the thing was, I still sat at that table because I was placed at that table.
There you have
I
it.
understood why I was at that table, but I observed everything while I was at the table, and I realized me being at that table was my training day. There was a reason why I was at those tables.
You
So
were right
now
where
I'm
you
like,
were
okay, God,
supposed to be. I'm sorry. You were right
exactly. So
where
I'm
you were
like,
supposed
God,
to be.
something has to give. And I
Mhm.
always was trying to figure out my life doesn't match. So here's the thing: be careful what you ask for because you're going to get it. You're going to get it. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is going to say, okay, your wish is my command. Here you go. And it may not come in a pretty red bow. It's going to come to you in a package that you're going to have to unpack, and you're going to have to deal with what you got. It's like the boiled Brussels sprouts. Like, you're really supposed to grill them, but they boiled and they mushy, and it's like, you want me to eat this? Yeah, this is what you asked for. So you said you're hungry. I gave you food. Don't complain about it. So what came to me was, now I done processed the domestic violence stuff. So I thought, I done processed I done got my degrees, 3 degrees. I told you I became an overachiever. My son wound up going to an Ivy League school. Like, I was an overachiever, like everything in my life, and had my daughter and all the best. Like, I was just doing everything, doing super too much, being super mom and being tired at the same time. And then I got sat down. I was like, okay, well, remember you were asking, like, give you something to help you out with your life. Here you go. And it was me finding out that my father was molesting another child.
No.
And that child, dun, 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 was my sister that I never knew that I had. So here it is, another 7-year-old little girl, which then took me back to being a 7-year-old little girl. And woo, that was, no one wanted to be in my path at that time because it was a wrath of fury. I ain't gonna lie. All those emotions just came and hit me like a tidal wave. And so now I had to really figure out how to process all this stuff.
Wait,
I had to
if I could
really
stop
figure
you
that
for
out.
one moment. I have to, if I could, because you're right, unpacking all of it. But I have one question. You were talking about the child that you had as a teenager. Was
Yes.
this child with your father, or was it with someone else?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to
No,
be
I don't
clear.
have that story, but I
Okay.
do
No,
know
no, no.
people who do.
Listen, no,
I do
listen.
know people that do.
The
And
story
here's the
that
thing,
you do have is enough.
right? I do know people that do. Now watch this. Even it's almost to the point where, like, stuff is stuff and messed up is messed up, right? No matter what it is. But it comes to a point when you start learning what other people go through, then you start to diminish your stuff. And I diminished mine because that wasn't my story, but my story is still my story, and it still impacted me. It still impacted me, and it still had a residual effect. So yes, so no, my children are 2 different baby daddies, not my daddy, but 2 different baby daddies type of situations. But yeah, that was my life. So at that moment, that's when I had to make this decision on what do I do. Now, other people, the choices could have been, you know what, that's not my problem. I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. I done buried that. I'm done. But I made a conscious decision to literally almost like step in front of the bus. Like I purposely walked into the fire. I purposely put myself back in that space because it's what was right. It's what was needed, and it's what was required because this is what I asked for. So I had to work through it. And baby, I had to work through that thing. See, but what it wound up doing, I wound up coming in the gap to save my sister. So that way she was no longer being abused. Like, I did a whole film on it, The Good Life. You got to watch The Good Life. So I stepped into to save her.
Wow.
But what that really did was save me in the process. And
You
that
saved
was the true beginning of all of the healing that allowed me to then go to counseling, because I was, sending my children to counseling, but I wasn't going.
You weren't
That
going.
didn't help.
Wait,
You know,
I don't want to miss this. I want our family members to get everything. The movie that you did about your experience is called The Good Life.
The Good Life, yes.
Where can our family members find it?
If they go to the See My Name link tree, then they can go there and they can find all my stuff.
Family, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. I want to say hello to our family members that are joining us on our socials. Viola, I'm not sure if it's Viola or Viola, but whichever of the two, we appreciate the love. Craig, hey there. Hey, Craig Williams, Nancy Thomas. Thank you too for joining us as well. Carol made mention of her link tree. For those who are listening and are not watching, I'm going to ask Carol if she will spell that out for you so that
Yes.
you can find, so that you'll have access to all that is Carolyn Wilson.
Absolutely. So link LINKTR.EE with that backslash, and then Carolyn Wilson, CAROLYN / the slash. I don't know which one it is. It's the slash. Carolyn Wilson, CAROLY.
We want them to find it. We want them to find it. So yes.
WILSON.
So I'm sorry. We want them to find it. Okay, that's LINK.
Yes, we do want them to find it. And they can follow me and find me on social media as
well. So. / Carolyn Wilson, all one word. That's CAROLYNWILSON. So listen, I mean, all of this. You did the movie.
Yes.
You're saving the world. You're saving your sister. You're saving. I mean, seriously, because that's where it began. That's where it began. That's where the cape came. And then you didn't stop. You continued to soar, which is, I mean, all of that alone is amazing. Not to mention everything you went on to do after that. I want to continue talking about all of that. In about 3 minutes, we're going to have to take a break. So before we do that, though, can you tell us who will be joining us shortly? Can you let us know, please? Who will be joining us? What friends did you bring with you today?
Yes, the family, the tribe, oh my gosh. So we will be, and they'll be coming from all around the world, but I'll let them tell you where they're from. But we're going to bring our King Lamar. We're going to bring Alana. We're going to bring Andrea. We're going to bring Selena, and AK Mary Kay. And then we're also going to bring Allegra. I got all the A's.
I know. I was like, okay, Andrea, Allegra,
it just happened to work out that way. Yeah, I can't wait for you to meet all of them. And there's stories behind the stories, and they're here because of the stories that I've been able to share. And this is with everyone around the world, like, because I have found a way to tell and share my story and live in a life of truth. Even despite all those things, making a change in my life, making a choice to change my life, a conscious choice, and to be able to still talk about it with a smile. And there's no more, as Narda Joe, I think I saw Narda pop on, said there's residue. Like I made a choice. And so because of that, these amazing kings and queens that are going to be joining us tonight, or they have been able to share and tell their stories. And H.E.R.Story, which stands for Healed, Empowered, Resilient, because when you're healed, you are empowered and about who you are and whose you are. And that makes you resilient for anything and everything that will come your way. And then that leads us to him, which is a man that's honorable, intelligent, and matured, because he has become her, because he had to heal from something in order to really, truly show up in the world as this honorable vessel that he is. And that allows us to now have the other queens to say, hey, you know what? We're H.E.R.Story too, because together we overcome these obstacles. So this is the family that I brought with us tonight.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to introduce everybody to them after our commercial break. But I want to ask you another question just before we take our break. So when you were doing when you had all of the appearances, ABC, CBS, Dr. Oz, all of what was this as a result of the movie and your story? See?
No,
I know.
no.
Our family members are wondering because I know they're saying, wait, she said ABC, CBS, Dr. Oz, Huffington Post. They want
Listen,
to know. And there was so much.
it was a lot. It was and it wasn't, right? So remember I talked about the weight?
Mm-hmm,
I was carrying the weight that was not mine. It was someone else's. So that's literally and figuratively. So all of those appearances all came from my weight loss journey. But it was the weight that I put on because of all the trauma and the stress and the other people's stuff.
Isn't that
And
something?
once I was able to just release it, it's like, remember the Wiz? Well, I know you remember the Wiz because you did it in high school. She was Dorothy, y'all. She was an amazing Dorothy. Yes. So remember when they finally got Maybelline, whatever, the Wicked Witch or whatever, and then the little minions, they were like, they start like everything started falling off them. And then it was like, it's a brand new.
Listen, I still have the soundtrack. I still sing the whole soundtrack. I mean, the Wiz is the only. Oh, you hear me?
That's
You
the
hear,
only
as far as
one.
I'm concerned, there was no Wizard of Oz. There's the Wiz.
There was no Wizard
Okay,
of Oz.
but family, listen.
It's the Wiz. It's the Wiz.
Listen, what?
You're the singer, not me.
Don't you get me started in here. Don't you get me started. Family, listen. We are talking with Carolyn Wilson. We are talking about her incredible journey. And I want you to know that she has brought some friends with her. I cannot wait to introduce you to her friends, but I also want you to hear more of her story and to hear their incredible stories as well. Stay with us, okay? Because we're going to take a short commercial break, but we will be right back.
Black Media Matters and Black Media will be heard. On Thursday, April 13th at 7 p.m., hear from Philadelphia mayoral candidates on issues that matter to our community: safety, education, the economy, and more. WURD's Solomon Jones will be joined by journalists from the Philadelphia Tribune, the Sunday Sun, and Fun Times Magazine for a discussion with the candidates, moderated by Andrea Lawful Sanders. This forum takes place at Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church, 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue. To attend, go to wordradio.com and click the Black Media Matters banner to register. Or tune in live Thursday, April 13th at 7 p.m. on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, wordradio.com, and the Word Radio app. This event is part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors. Did you know Henry Ossawa Tanner, the first internationally known African-American painter, lived and studied right here in Philadelphia? As the first Black student admitted to the prestigious Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, Tanner broke barriers with his innovative moving paintings and influenced generations of artists around the world. To find out more about the efforts to preserve his legacy and North Philadelphia childhood home, visit thetannerhouse.org, a message from the Friends of the Tanner House.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. We are talking with none other than Carolyn Wilson. When I say heavens to Murgatroyd, girl, family, if you've just tuned in, like I said, you missed a lot. She talked about so much, but she's going to talk about a lot more. Okay. And she brought some friends so they can share their stories too. And you have to stick around so you can hear their stories too, because you do want to do so. But Carol, I'm going to ask if you will bring everybody in, if you will introduce everyone because you are more familiar, you know their stories.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So which Wesley, let's see, where should we start? Let's just start with our king. Let's just because he got to lead us. We got to learn everything is energetic. I've learned everything to be energetic. So we're going to bring to the stage right now, we're going to bring Lamar Smith, all the way from our king from Philadelphia. He is our soldier from our H.E.R.Story.
Hey there, Lamar. Welcome, welcome,
Hey, how you doing, Carolyn?
I will not complain. How are you?
Listen, thank you for having us on. Thank you for allowing us to be on the Love and Life. This is amazing. So, and thank you for the awesome introduction as always, Carolyn. So my name is Lamar Smith. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I'm a successful serial entrepreneur. I have an amazing ice cream business going on 10 years named Dreams Ice Cream. It's located in the Glenside area. But I'm also a best-selling author on the H.E.R.Story, and I also have other books. So when Carolyn asked me to be a part of this project and she told me what it was about, I instantly jumped on it, and you hear how amazing she is. You hear the things that she has overcame, and it's just very inspiring. And so her and I worked on other projects before in the past. So big reason why I wanted to get on and share my story in my chapter in my book is called Father versus Son and Son versus the Father. So that's a very touchy topic, especially within our own community when we're dealing with, that particular situation. And for myself, my chapter pretty much just talks about the dynamics of healing. We talk about healing, and I have an acronym for healing, and it's H. Well, for heal, for it's having everything all lined up. So HEAL. And then when you have everything all lined up, that's when you can officially heal. So, it's like I said, it's about my father and I and our journey for us, getting back on track because, coming up, there was some tension. There was some things that, I saw him treat my mother a certain way. They were married for 53 years. Unfortunately, my mother passed away from COVID in 2020 from complications of COVID. So that really kind of got me, and that's my queen. But I know she's in a better place. So it was just one of those things where, and how that happened too. I was like, when it happened, like initially, because they both had it. And I just felt that, being a man, you're supposed to be the protector of everything, but kind of got, and it was tough for everybody. Just going out at that time. We remember those times, just going out and actually being out there, and just going out, being out in the public, casinos, going here, going there, and it was just, when I found out, we didn't know she initially had it because only symptoms that she was showing at the time was just she was just very weak. She didn't have like a cough, or she didn't have like a headache or anything of that nature. So when I took her, I thought it was just something else. And then, of course, at the time, they were testing everybody for that. So I got the chance to spend the last 5 hours with her in the ER. And so part of me felt like, even at that time, like, you're supposed to be protecting her along with the other things that previously was happening prior to, because the name of my ice cream business is called Dream. So I had an opportunity to, a strong opportunity to transfer to a school in high school. Actually, it was Lower Marion. It was to play with Kobe Bryant in high school. And I felt my father, because I had an aunt that lived out in that area, and I felt that my father didn't believe in my dream. So that's why I named my ice cream business Dreams. And so I always believe in people's dreams and everything of that nature. And I always told myself that no matter what happened in life, that I will always help not only get my dreams and my goals, but to help anybody other dreams and goals. So it's a story that talks about the back and forth, because now we fast forward and now, I help take care of them. So, ever since that situation, losing my mom was very tough. So it just wasn't easy, having that transition, knowing that, a lot of the pain that was inquired about was this particular person. But as God has it, you know what I mean, He put us in a position, and we've gotten closer. And so that versus now, Father versus Son, or Son versus Father, now that stands for victory and salvation. You feel me? So we at the point where we, full circle in it, and then now that we're in a position where, you know what I mean, like I said, I'm proud of his for what he's done. He's opened up, but I understand that sometimes in life, like, he cannot give me anything. He cannot give me what he didn't know, or what he didn't have, right? And we got to understand that, and like I said, when dealing with this, like I said, it's not easy, but it's making me stronger. It's making us stronger. And I just want to encourage anybody, who had an issue with, or have an issue with their parents or someone or a loved one who was very, vital in their life. We got to learn how to forgive. And forgiveness, it's for you when you really getting that weight off you, and you're really like, listen, like, we got to push forward, and we cannot be mad. So, we just got to move forward, and understand that my father loves me very much, and I love him. So I'm just happy, and I thank God. Like I said, I cannot take full credit for that. He's the one that brought the peace in my heart with that, and his heart. And so that's where we're here now with the H.I.M.Story. So yeah.
First of all, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. I mean, your story, as I knew it would be, is amazing. But also, my condolences for the loss of your mother. I to lose anybody hurts deeply, but I share that pain. That I say there's a happy inside my hurt, because my
Yeah,
mother
like
that's the way I feel about having lost my mother, well, and my mother and my father, but I can identify. So
Yeah.
my condolences to you. I want to share with our family members. You were talking, and you all. Let me tell you about amazing people. What you all do, okay, is you kind of gloss over. You're like, yeah, so I did this and I did that, and whatever and whatever, whatever. And sir, I want to share. I want our family members to know about a strong Black man. I want them to know about the book and about your chapter. And I'm so happy that you shared your story from beginning to end with it. Well, not end, from beginning to progression with your father. Especially that it warms my heart to hear an adult Black man talk about having come full circle with his father. That warms that does more for me than I can express to you right now, because listen, we talk about our families all the time. We talk about the Black family and how disjointed most of our families are, you know.
Yeah.
Mine included,
Yeah.
I didn't have a relationship with my father until my adult life. So
Mm.
having you come full circle with yours and then writing about it
Yeah.
from both angles, that's amazing. I want to share with you that Joanne Dormont is saying hello and good evening. She said, she can relate a lot with you, Carolyn, but she says she sees her friend, the owner of the ice cream shop, and she sends you blessings,
Thank
abundant blessings. Family, thank you for joining us on our socials. Thank you for watching and listening. If you want to join the conversation, please feel free to call us. You can call us at 215-634-8065. While we continue this conversation. So you are a part of H.I.M.Story, is that correct? I wanted to make sure I say it properly. Okay, H.I.M.Story. There's H.E.R.Story family, and there's H.I.M.Story. And I should make you aware that H.E.R.Story Part 2 will be available next week. Is that correct? H.E.R.Story. Okay, we're going to talk more about that, but I don't want to talk too much because I want them to meet everybody that you brought with you. Okay. So before we move on, what was it about the project, Lamar, that made you
Yeah.
say, you know what, I need to be a part of this?
Absolutely. A lot of times, they say black men are not vulnerable, right? When it comes to different issues that we deal with, Carol. And so I felt it was very important. And the thing about life, you know, it's cool to be vulnerable, right? But society tells, especially as men, if you cry, like you weak, you soft, you a punk, you corny, you know what I mean? All that. And that's what we've been taught. We've been taught the wrong thing about love. We have emotions too as men. We go through things, but a lot of times we hold it in, right? And we just block it off. And then that's where a lot of the anger or, you know, the whole dysfunction of us even relating, you know, with each other, with women, you know, that comes in. So, you know, I always say that, you know, when it comes to vulnerability, you know, you got two choices. Either you're going to be a victim in your vulnerability, which unfortunately a lot of people become, or you're going to be victorious in your vulnerability. And I chose to be victorious, you know what I mean, and my vulnerability. So it is strengthened. And even when I'm talking to my father now, he's more open. You know, he never told me he loved me coming up. You know what I mean? His thing was like, you know, that's just not what I do. But now he says it. So when he says it, it's like, it gives me that feeling like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's about. But I also told him it's okay to cry, right? Because God gives us these tears to cry. And I said, a big reason why your tears are clear because you cleansing, right? You feel me? Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Wait, I want to interrupt you for just one moment. We're going to take just a short break. Okay. And when we come back, you guys are going to meet everybody. Okay. You're going to meet everybody else. I promise. Stay with us. Okay. Because we'll be right back.
Yes.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey. Brought to you by Comcast.
As the weather gets warmer and pandemic numbers stay low, we can expect travel to be on everyone's must-do list this year. So if you are heading out of town, think about saving these things on your smartphone for safekeeping. Take pictures of your passport, driver's license, or other identification. Make sure you have digital copies of your itinerary, tickets, and reservation numbers. A photo of your credit cards and bank cards could also come in handy if your wallet is lost or stolen. Membership numbers for things like AAA and photos of your medications are also a good thing to have on hand. You can take photos of all this information and easily store it in a locked note on your smartphone or in an online folder on a service like Dropbox. But whatever you do, make sure you have all your important info stored somewhere safe before you hit the road. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Tune in this Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Islam Today show with a perspective on moral guidance and Islamic principles and values.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Level Up. Welcome back to the 2023 Level Up contest. I'm your host, Amadi Braxton. We do have a winner. It is H.E.R. Finlater from Golden Water.
WURD Radio would like to thank all of our judges and all of the finalists who competed during the Level Up Pitch Party. Special thanks to our sponsors, Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, Bank of America, and Livelihood. Thanks to our supporters, the African American Chamber of Commerce and the Business Center. Once again, congratulations to the 2023 Level Up winner, H.E.R. Finlater. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
This is your celebration.
I'm Patricia Canella Duckett from United Healthcare Community Plan, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. For those of you that do not know, WURD and United Healthcare Community Plan have a very long-standing history, and we'd love to continue the partnership and continue doing much work. Again, happy 20th anniversary. Thank you so much.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We've been talking with Carolyn Wilson. We just met Lamar Smith, an amazing man who will return. He will return. He's not gone. But since we're at the top of the second hour and we have so many other friends that I want to meet and I want our family members to meet, please, Carolyn, introduce us to our next friend.
Yes, at the top of the hour, I think we should take a trip down to the Caribbean. I think we should go down to the islands. We're going to go down to the island, the beautiful island of Barbados, with Alana, who's representing the whole Caribbean. Alana. Where is she?
There she is. Hi, Alana.
Hi.
How are you?
Girl. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, family. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Lamar. Everybody.
That is yeah, I know, right? My first child is going to make sure she's a part of it all. Alana, welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. As Carolyn said, I'm from the island of Barbados, island girl. So warm and sunny most of the time. So I'm glad you have me online. Hi, Lamar. I see you. So yes, I am on H.E.R.Story, Healed, Empowered, Resilient. The reason I was on the project because just as soon as the project started, my divorce was being finalized. And that itself was a process. I was depressed. I was sad. We were in COVID. So, I couldn't go to a bar and drink. I couldn't do anything but go to work and come home. So that's how I got on the project. Andrea, who you're going to meet shortly as well, she was the person who made the connect between Carolyn and I. So I am chapter 1 on H.E.R.Story, all the way from Barbados. So about me, I just turned 41, and not just 41, 40 WON1. Because this is winning season, period. We are winning all day, every day. So I just turned 41. My daughter is going to be 18 this year. So I do have a teenage daughter. And I see Carol, you're shaking your head like,
you look like a baby. Oh my goodness.
And they look like twins. She looks like she's like 15.
I'm sure people tell you this all the time because you said 41. I was thinking, okay. She's like, my daughter. I was like, okay, no.
Yes, I am 41. I do have a 9-to-5. I am a supervisor for a multinational organization here in Barbados. But on the side, I'm a life and divorce coach and a mental health advocate. Because mental health is so important. And I learned that going through my divorce. And, I did therapy. And it was going through therapy that I learned things coming out of my childhood. Just like Carolyn, I had traumas. My story was not, as deep as hers, but I did have traumas coming out of my childhood. So that caused me to have triggers, have anger issues. Sure. I fumbled some friendships. I mean, even in this process, I have fumbled some friendships. So, you learn a lot about you going through a process.
That is
And
so
in this
true.
journey, my purpose is to help people come through their process. Because if you heard Carolyn earlier, she didn't have an outlet because she didn't understand what was going on. But now we're at age and stage technology, we have everything. So I'm here to, help people come through their process to say, this is how I did this. You may not have to be a carbon copy, but know that there's help out there for you. If I can do it, you can do it. And I don't have any magic. I'm not out of a Harry Potter story. You're not going to see any magic on my fingers. I am just human and I'm flawed. But, you have to say prayers. You have to believe. You have to believe in yourself first and foremost. You have to fill yourself. Your cup has to be full before you can pour into anyone else. So that's me, Alana. Simple. Island Girl, chapter 1, her story.
But tell them the name of your chapter.
Rediscovering Me.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. There are a lot
Yes.
of us out here rediscovering ourselves. I love that. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. I mean, all of you, all of you have such amazing stories. I'm so glad that you're here to share your stories with everybody because I tell our family members all the time, everybody's dealing with something.
Yes.
Everybody. I don't care who you are. Everybody is dealing with something. So it feels good to be able to share, as Lamar would say, a victorious story. It feels good
Yes.
to share that. Oh my goodness, Alana,
Yes.
thank you. So you're an island girl, you say?
Yes, I am.
She said, And so you said, okay, I have to be a part of this. Is that how it came about? You just was it
I was in a season.
okay?
I was in a season where everything was shifting for me. So I just got the promotion at work to supervisor. And I traveled to New York on vacation, to see family and friends. When Andrea called me and says, hey, I have this project for you to be on. And I'm like, okay. And I went through the process. I met Carolyn. She chose me to be on the project. I had mental block. I was like, what to write? But I had to be on this project. I had to be. Had to be because of what the purpose was, what the storyline was about healing. I had to go through that process. And the one thing I learned about healing is when you're healing from one thing, something happens, and then you have to be healing from that, then something. So healing is an ongoing process.
Yes, because there are layers.
Yes. And in this rediscovering myself, that's where my empowerment came, because everybody would not have the motivation that I had the drive, the, self-motivated, the self-inspiration. So I'm like, you know what? I have to get out here. I have to help others. I have to bless others. And the joy that came, I had Carolyn and Jerry come to Barbados. Carolyn and I went to Guyana. The other ladies traveled. I got to go back to New York to do some stuff. So, the journey is just not about us writing a chapter. It's about us connecting. And Carolyn will tell you, we almost didn't make our flight to Guyana. And we was freaking out.
But when you say that, you know what? My takeaway from what you just said is about you all connecting. You're absolutely right, because that creates that net. We're talking about you guys, everybody, from what Carolyn has told me, you all are from all over the globe. That's a heck of a net. That is a heck of a quilt. Do you hear me? A quilt of support and healing and love. And I, for one, am an advocate for that, because family, y'all know, I tell you all the time, we all need something. We need some help. We need some help. I want to I want to say thank you to our family members who are joining us on our socials. Julian says, "What's up, fam?" And Dirty Clean says, uh, uh, "So no, I'm not sure to what you were responding, but I did make sure I said the comment." In any event, Alana, how about thank you, because your light is so bright. I see that you have come through. You have come over. And you can tell, you can see it in your spirit, you can feel it in your spirit, and that's a wonderful thing. we're going to say thank you to you for sharing your story. I want to get to others as well, because I feel like I'm going to be talking to each and every one of you, and not get to the next one. And I want everybody to meet each and every one of you.
Yes,
Thank you
we're
so much.
all amazing. We're all amazing. Each and every one.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm an honorary Bayesian, so you know.
Yeah. I can't even. I can't.
They gave me a whole new topic. What I'm a Mira Bayana or something like that. It's like a combination of. Okay, you'll find out in a second.
Okay. Okay. So I will. Okay. All right. Well, Carolyn, if you wouldn't mind, Alana, thank you so much.
You're
If you
welcome.
thank you. If you wouldn't mind introducing us to our next friend, please.
So she kind of set the stage. It's a whole journey. Like we say, God is a way maker. When we literally, listen, when you just know when you're on an assignment, you do it anyway. We had an event in Barbados, and we were supposed to have our seats to get to on a little pedal pusher to get us over to Guyana, which is in South America, not Ghana, South America, Guyana. And there were no seats left. Our tickets were gone. The whole plane was full. And so we made a decision. We said, you know what are we going to do? Said we're going anyway. We did the event. We empowered the women in Barbados, and we packed up our stuff and we went to the airport anyway. And in the midst of being there, God was a way maker. Not one, but two seats. That's all we needed. Two seats just miraculously appeared while we were there. And that's why we said he's a way maker, because we needed to get there. We pressed through and did it anyway. Even for me to get to Barbados, there was a whole issue for me to get there. I didn't know where I was staying, but I said, I got a plane ticket and I'm going there anyway because I'm on assignment. Because I'm on assignment. All of us are on assignment. So speaking of assignment, the next queen we're going to bring is she's representing a lot of countries, but she's going to represent the beautiful country of Guyana, which I learned to love that amazing country. And that's Miss Andrea.
Oh my goodness, Andrea, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome.
No, that's Allegra.
That was
that's
Allegra. But hi, Miss Allegra. Hi, Miss Allegra. Well, you know what? How about there we have it. So Andrea and Allegra are joining us. How about that? How about it? Miss Allegra, we're going to bring you back in a moment, if you don't mind. We're going to talk to Miss Andrea for just a moment. Miss Andrea, hey there.
I know all those A's. I bought my A game. That's because I brought my A game with me.
I love that. Okay, I love that. Miss Andrea, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And you said from where? From Guyana?
Okay, so I have been on a long journey. I was born in Guyana. Right now, I reside in Jacksonville, Florida, and I spent a little bit of my years, like about 17 of them, in Barbados. But I am Guyanese by birth, now residing in the US. And like Carolyn, I came a far way. I myself have been a victim of molestation as a child, and that's where my story in terms of being healed, empowered, and resilient came from. I would have met Carolyn when we did a program with Les Brown. It's called The Power Voice. And I would always say that that program helped me to regain my power voice, because being the person that I was, being that person that would not speak, Alana could vouch for that. I was always kind of quiet because there was always so much going on in me. Being a victim of molestation, one of the side effects of it was actually the inability to speak up. I found it so hard to speak up and represent myself. I was always afraid of people. I could not express myself. And the devil had an assignment for me. He had an assignment to shut up what God wanted to be able to be a vessel for others. So, because of my ability now to speak up, I have a mantle where I am helping children. I teach children public speaking. And that's just one of the many things that I'm doing. And I'm now part of H.E.R.Story. And in my story is called Persevere with Elsa. It just speaks a bit about a period in my life. And it wasn't even when I had discovered myself as yet, but it was part of my journey. It's that period where I actually spoke up. I was working in a retail store, and I had started to do studies. I really wanted to do accounting, and I just had this thing about me. I could not speak up, and I literally got the guts and I spoke up.
Mm.
So it's about being able to represent yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I have been able to overcome and crush that what I would say, that hurdle. Now you can't get me to shut up. So
I love it. We don't want you to shut up. And especially you say you're working with our babies. We want you to help them. So we don't want you to shut up at all. You. So having been a victim of molestation, was that what led you to work with our babies, or did you just feel led or driven to work with them as opposed to, well, I should ask because I'm assuming it's the little ones and not the young adults. Is it our little
So I
baby?
work with all ages, but primarily my programs are focused for children between 7 to 18 years old. I
Mm.
do have a radio program where they are able to represent. I've created that platform. My goal and my mantle really and truly is to empower the lives of the youths, to have them to be able to express themselves. And we have a lot of platforms that are available, but we don't have enough for children. And I just have created that space where children can express themselves.
I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for doing that. You're absolutely right. Now that I think of it, I don't know of many platforms for children to be able to express themselves that have an outlet in that way. So thank you for that. That's Alana was right. All of you are amazing. Lamar was right. I mean, he said, that with good reason. So what brought you? How did you get to her story?
So again, Caroline and I have been on a journey over the past few years, and which started with the Les Brown Power Voice. And I would have seen her advertise that she had the program, the Her Story, available. And I can't remember if I reached out or she reached out. I think I likely would have reached out, but after reaching out, it took me a little while. I was like, yeah, maybe I should not, because that would have been my second anthology. And Carolyn really connected with me. We prayed and she encouraged me because she believed that the Lord had said that we should work together. So she did give me a word, and I took that and I ran with it. I believe that her story is not just a book. Her story, too, is not just a book. We are a movement. And when I talk about a sisterhood, it's beyond words. We have support for each other. We pray for each other. We fast. It, it's just That's just the tip of the iceberg. We are literally a network of women who support each other. So the calling, her story, it's greater than us. And I believe that one way or the other, if Carlin had not listened, and I always tell her, I say, thank you for listening to the word and thank you for taking action, because many of us do not remember to take action. But
Mm-hmm.
she took action, and I also listened to that call, and I am always ready to go because I believe it's greater than us. And if we didn't do it, somebody else would have, God would have actually given that assignment to somebody else, because it's something that has to be done. And this is only the beginning, because the vision is big and He keeps putting more on us as a unit. And every time, just to prove that it is His way, when it
Mhm.
seems as if it's impossible, He just creates that way. He's like a way maker in all our projects. So I know this is ordained by Him and it's greater than us.
Oh, I know that too. I know that too, Andrea. And one thing I want to share with our family members is that all of our guests tonight, we're in a group chat, okay? So you are unaware of the conversations we're having behind the scenes, but when I tell you the love and support that is in this chat, I mean, I'm saying each of them are cheerleading for the next one. Each of them, they're sending messages and notes to one another, from Selena to Allegra to Andrea to Lamar. I mean, to Alana. I love it. I love the support that you all have for one another, for each other, and just knowing that you have that type of support for each other. I know the support that you're out here giving. I know. I mean, I feel the support that you are out here giving to everyone else, because you have it right there in your close knit group. And I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. And it's also a way of regeneration, because each of you are lifting the other up. And that's what we're supposed to, well, that's what I believe anyway. That's what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to lift each other up. And all of your stories, oh my goodness, all of your stories are truly amazing. I mean, and you know, and to say, I'm sitting here talking with all of you, and each one of you that has spoken so far, your light, everybody's vibration is so high, and it's so wonderful. It's such a wonderful thing, because I like sharing. Like I said, I want to be able to share some uplifting and powerful stories with our family members. I want our family members to know, if in fact, if you are dealing with any of these life situations, that you're not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. I repeat that. You are not alone. Know that you are loved. Know that you are worthy. And know that you will come out on the other side of this positively and victorious. That's right, Lamar. I said it. That's right, Lamar. Victorious. Okay. Victorious. Hey there, Nasir is joining us on our socials. Lysandra is joining us on our socials. And Lysandra says, yes, that they are. And so we're all in agreement that you all are victorious and you're amazing individuals. The stories that you all are sharing, I know that some of our family members, you know, have had some experience, or either know someone who has, because I know I have, you know someone who has had one or many of these experiences. So it feels good to know that we can talk in an open space, that, you know, that we have safe spaces, you know, because Carol, I'm sitting here processing the fact that I was in high school with you and had no idea. I had no idea that you were living through any of this, you know, which is amazing. I mean, like I tell everybody, I say it every single show: be good to you, but be good to those around you, because you don't know what the next person is handling. You don't know what they're holding, what they're carrying, what they're fighting, what they're dealing with. And you don't know, you don't know whether what you say can hurt or help. So I always say, please be good, because words have power. Words have so much power. Viola shares that her oldest daughter was sexually assaulted at 5 by a family member. She says she's doing great and is married with children. That's what I'm saying. These are the stories I love for us to share, because it lets somebody else know. It lets somebody else know that someone else was once in the place in which you are, and that there is light. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Family, we're going to take a short break, but please stay with us. We've yet to talk with Selena, Allegra, OMG. We've got more family members to talk with. So stay with us, okay? Because we will be right back.
Struggling to pay your water or sewer bills? New Jersey's low-income household water assistance program can help you avoid service disruptions, restore services, pay reconnection fees, and stay up to date on payments. Don't get shut off. Apply for the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program today. Call 211 or visit waterassistance.nj.gov. Experience what the New York Times called movement as communal celebration when Step Africa comes to the Chemocultural Campus, the first professional dance company dedicated to the tradition of stepping. This award-winning group blends percussive dance styles from historically African-American fraternities and sororities, traditional African dances, and an array of contemporary art forms into an exhilarating experience. The technique, agility, and pure energy makes each performance unique, leaving audiences energized and on their feet. Step Africa, one night only, Friday, April 28th. Get your tickets now at chemoculturalcampus.org.
Stay connected on the go with the new and improved WURD Radio app. Search WURD Radio in your app store. Stream every show with increased clarity. Easily access WURD TV, EcoWord, and Livelihood. Start or renew your 4-word membership and buy WURD swag. Remember, Black Media Matters. Get the new and improved WURD Radio app today. Available on Google Play and the Apple App Store.
is love.
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That is WURDradio.com. I know you knew that, but I just like to say it. So I said it again. We have been joined by some amazing human beings tonight. And guess what? There's still more to meet. I'm going to stop talking so that you can meet the remainder of our family members that are here to meet you. I'm going to bring Allegra in now because I feel so
No,
badly.
no,
Not
no.
Allegra. No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, Oh,
No.
she said no, no, no. Who do we
Mm-mm.
have next? Who do
There's
we
a
have?
there's a
Is it
flow to
Selena?
this. There's a flow to
Is it
this.
Selena? Is it
This-
Selena? Wait, y'all. Did you see this though? Did you see the finger? Did you?
No,
Now
no,
only
no, no, no,
Carolyn in
no.
this moment. Only Carolyn in this moment. But guess what?
Listen,
Okay.
only
So Carolyn,
because
set it up.
I gotta
Set
go
it
with
up because
I gotta go with the spirit. There's a flow. So you
no, let's
talked
do
about
it.
you talked about everything being connected, right? And this
Right.
net, this wider net. Like when I tell you that
Absolutely.
we reach every continent on this planet. Like if
Mhm.
we'll get into that after fact. But this is now we went into H.E.R.Story, and now you just met two of the queens out of the 25 from H.E.R.Story, and they paved the way for these next two queens, H.E.R.Story 2. So and there's a song, because I think in song a lot of times, right? Michael Jackson, the song I'll be there, like whenever you need me, I'll be there. We're all there together. And he's from where? Gary, Indiana, and that's where Selena's from. So you could just bring her
I
right on
love it.
up.
Selena. Wait, you know what? Hi there. Hi there, beautiful. Wait, I want before we continue, you see what I'm saying about all of you amazing human beings? She just glossed over. I let our family members know that H.E.R.Story 2 will be available next week. And we listen, before we share another abundantly beautiful story, I want our family members to know where they can get H.E.R.Story 2.
Yes, they can go right on Amazon. If you go to my link tree, you can get it right there. It'll take you right to
Okay,
Amazon. Go get it. And it's 99 cents because we want you to get these stories. It's only 99 cents.
No, you know what? They need to know. Family, okay, so I want you we have got to hear Selena's story. We have got to, but I want you to know next week. Now, when you say next week, what day next week? What's the date?
Oh, okay. It is April 11th, and April
Okay.
11th is the launch. And we are having a virtual launch party that everyone can join us on 11th and 12th, where you get to meet all the 25 women, right? Because there's another 25 women. I know that they go to my link tree, it's all there, but they could also go to Eventbrite. It's H.E.R.Story 2 launchparty.eventbrite.com. Bam.
Okay,
And
so
it
you
will
can
give them the
find it
link
on
to the book,
Eventbrite.
and they can join us and just join the party. Because you think this is fun. Wait till you meet the other queens.
No, this is so uplifting. No, thank you, Selena. I'm not going to delay anymore. I want to hear all about you. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Miss Carolyn, for always reaching out or taking me on my offer of being here when and not here. So I am Mary. more like karate kick out of windows. Okay. So I am Mary Kennedy. Like she stated, I am born and raised in Gary, Indiana. I'm just gonna read from my body. It's just easier because I do too much to kind of keep up with. So it's just best when I write it down. I just read from it. I am a kingdom citizen. I am a joint heir. I am the daughter of the Most High. I am a queen. I am a kingdom ambassador. I am a leader. I am an educator. I am a mentor. I am a life coach. I am a kingdom law professor. I am a sister. I am help. And at the bottom basis of it all, I am a friend. I am the recreator of Rock Truth LLC. I am also the recreator and host of Rock Truth Radio as well as several subsidiaries that we have under the Rock Truth umbrella. Oh God, let's go through them. Rock Truth Radio, Rock Truth Prints, Rock Truth Cafe. We just kind of rebranded the cafe with Rock Truth in the Cupboard. Shout out to In the Cup, Kelvin Bride, who passed away last year. We're giving homage to him. Rock Truth, our clothing line, True North, to hold you down so you always know where you are. God, the original True North, the original point of reference for all things to come into eternity. We have our non-for-profit, which is A Voice for Lizelle, that teaches parents and education principles. I'm also a case manager, casework supervisor. Lord Jesus, you know, author, a best-selling author. Thank you, Miss Carolyn. I'm also working on 2 of my own, as well as training. We just finished airing our first season of Rock True Live. We've had the radio show for the last 3 years. We celebrated our 3rd year anniversary with the company. And this year was the first year we actually did a live broadcast with the studio audience. The first ever in our area, the first ever with minority groups. So we made history this Women's Month in March. So I'm excited.
Wow. I don't even know what, listen, that's all I've got. Wow. Okay. And she's like, how do you find the time? Okay. So you are part of H.E.R.Story as well, in addition to everything else you just said. H.E.R.Story too. So you are a participant in H.E.R.Story too.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get to H.E.R.Story too? What was your journey?
My journey through H.E.R.Story too. Well, the chapter title is hashtag Heal Don't Cope. It's to rethink, relearn, retrain, and return your mind, heart back to him, to heal, like your dog, heal, submit, don't move, or rather stand still and know. And then to also heal, meaning totally heal internally. So I'm healing externally, just like the internal, external healing physically of my body, but it's with the mental and not coping with the things in society like the world is teaching us. We got Tylenol for everything. So it teaches us to deal with our symptoms where Rock Truth or in the kingdom, we have no tissues for your issues. We deal in the root and we heal.
So powerful and strong. So, oh my Lord. See, you see what I'm saying? Family, if you've just tuned in, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We started the conversation with Carolyn Wilson, who, if you've just joined us, then you're going to have to go back because I gave the long list of her accomplishments, okay? But at the very least, she is an accomplished and award-winning author, filmmaker. She's a best-selling author. She's internationally recognized as a motivational speaker, and so much more. But she brought with her some of her amazing friends, one of whom we're speaking with right now, which is Mary Kennedy, who has been sharing her journey thus far. If you've just tuned in, I have got to tell you that the stories that you all are sharing with us are touching, and they're real. This is real life. This is real life, which is, the one thing about it. We all tend to think that when we're dealing with something or going through something, we all tend to think that we're the only one. We're the only one because it's because of that weight, because of how strong it is, because that's what it feels like. But I love how supportive you all are of one another. I'm telling you, family, in our little private chat, they're like, yes, you go. You are strong. You are powerful. And I feel like, yes. Yeah, look, I feel like I feel empowered watching you all talk to and about one another. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I love your chapter in the book, all of your chapters. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point because I'm repeating myself, telling you, but I mean it. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I tell you I do, because it means a lot to everyone else who's going to read it and begin to heal from what they're dealing with right now.
Absolutely, Queen. Absolutely. It's an imperative chapter because it's focusing on the one thing God told us to do: change your mind, change your heart. And that's the one thing that we omit. We will do everything but step one. And that's the problem. And so he'll take you back to forward thinking. And that's what her story is about. That's what my story is. It is your story. It's everybody's story of that backwards thinking and changing our heart mind for his name's sake solely. Rocking
transformation.
It's total transformation or reformation.
There you oh, I love that. Reform. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so, Mary Kennedy. I'm Selena Mary Kennedy. I listen. I can't thank you enough. I'm looking at the time and I'm saying, no, we haven't talked to Allegra. And I have to get Allegra's story in here too. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. I'm going to invite you all back. Okay. After Her Story 2 is out and everybody is talking about it, I'm going to say, see what, but we knew. We told you. We told you. So thank you, Mary Kennedy. Now, Carolyn.
Thank you,
If you wouldn't mind setting up, if you wouldn't mind setting us up for our next family member.
Yes, yes. Coming to us all the way from North Kakalaka, right? Now we got to go down south where our roots begin, right? So we're going to welcome this amazing queen, and she's had a trip. She was our official groupie, but she'll get into that. So Miss Allegra, come on. I had to save you because you won't bring it. She has some words. She always has something because she's so insightful.
Well, Miss Allegra, hello and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you. It is such an honor to be here with my sisters and brothers, yourselves, and also the listeners. I don't take for granted that this particular space they chose. So I'm so grateful and honored for everyone that is listening. I am currently in North Carolina, have been here forever and a day, went to school here, but I'm a New Yorker, born and raised. So I call myself a Southern Northerner. Um, I am a mother of 6. I always say that's by grace. I am a professional nurse, an advocate and mentor, and I always say that's by assignment. But what later on in my chapter talks about this is I became empowered, insightful, and purposeful, and I'm doing that by choice. So that's kind of what my book is at the end of my chapter talks about, but it does talk about, some childhood trauma. When I think about birth and when I think about my children and the visions that we have for these innocent beings, that's where my story starts. However, there were so many abuses that went on with my mother watching. Watched. So my story does talk about some of those abuses and some physical and sexual abuses that I dealt with from my stepfather while my mother was present. But the other part of my story, I think that's so impactful that I pray touches people is that while in those things, of course, I went through dysfunctional relationships, broken friendships. But I began, much like Carolyn talked about, I had to find a way to live. My choice in living at that time was to look for how many degrees could I get? How many places could I get? How many tables could I sit at? But one day I realized I was so one-dimensional. Success ended. So for me, it wasn't like an epiphany. I didn't wake up one morning and get this, but it was so many pieces of me that were absent. And that was actually still effective to my celebration of myself. What's the point of the success if I can't even celebrate me? And I couldn't. Others celebrated me, right? Because they saw the products of my efforts. But I was dying daily, and that was effective to the other people that I loved. So I would say, my children, and I say I'm so grateful for that grace that God chose me. Yes, I was a single parent. I was a teen parent, and I grew up with my kids. I still got kids trying to get them grown up, but but nevertheless, so my story is birth of restored empowerment.
Birth of restored empowerment.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, the titles of these chapters alone. Okay. I love it. I love it because it makes you want to read. It makes you want to read to find out more. I'm curious to know how you came to her story too.
So, I Carolyn already said, and I'm the groupie. I was the groupie when her story came out. I was so all about anything they did. I was there. I was like tag along. I was like standing in the lines. Like, can I go? Can I speak? Can I serve the guests something? I had to be there because these women were so impactful. I couldn't believe that the transparency, the voice that they'd allowed. I call myself a mentor, and I felt like I had done my assignment, right? Because I'm very vocal. I advocate in so many places. Um, on my W-2 job as well as my personal business. That's what I do. But it was in a very sheltered place. And women reminded, showed me that there's a voice that I have. And so I always talk about it now. I'm all about turning up the volume, right? Turn up the volume, turn up the volume.
Oh, I love that.
Okay? Because
You
that's
better
what
turn up volume.
Absolutely. So initially I was kind of standoffish. I just wanted to be the groupie. I wanted to be a cheerleader. I cheered all through high school and college. I thought that was a great place for me. And when Carolyn called me, I was like, yeah, no, I'll do anything. So my story is a little different than the other ladies because I honestly felt like I had been obedient to my assignment in my community. And what Carolyn gifted me was she opened up a platform and said, your community is beyond this space.
That oh my goodness. First of all, when you just said that, your community is beyond this space. That I mean, that says so much. It resonates with me. That says so much. Family, if you've just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We're talking about love of ourselves. We're talking about life. We're talking about living and healing and restoration and transformation. We're talking about a lot of things. But what we're going to do in this moment is take a short break. So I'm asking, stay with us, okay? Because we'll be right back.
Did you know Henry Ossawa Tanner, the first internationally known African-American painter, lived and studied right here in Philadelphia? As the first Black student admitted to the prestigious Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, Tanner broke barriers with his innovative moving paintings and influenced generations of artists around the world. To find out more about the efforts to preserve his legacy and North Philadelphia childhood home, visit thetannerhouse.org, a message from the Friends of the Tanner House.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90 or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the US get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
The Dr. Emeka Show.
Sundays at 4 p.m. right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Streaming live at wordradio.com and on the Word Radio app.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURD radio.com. We've been talking with none other than Carolyn Wilson, who started off this journey of restoration, of healing, of transformation, of conversation, of discussion about life, about the love of ourselves, and about getting back to a place where we need to be, getting to a healthy place in our being and in our existence. Um, she brought with her some friends that have shared some amazing stories. And I want you to know that they have a book, a collection. I don't even, stories just sound so, it just doesn't give you the magnitude of what they're sharing. But there are two books, okay, one of which is out already, which is called H.E.R.Story, and the other, which will be available on April 11th, which is called H.E.R.Story 2. H.E.R.Story 2. Now, please, 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 Carol, unmute yourself and tell all of our family members where H.E.R.Story 2 will be available on April 11th.
Yes, they can go to the easiest place is that they can, it's on Amazon. However, you can also just go to, will you see right there on my name, my link tree, linktr.ee/ Carolyn, Carolyn Wilson, Wilson, my name, my first and last name. And that'll give you the link for H.E.R.Story 2, for H.E.R.Story, for H.I.M.Story, to watch The Good Life and all things Carolyn Wilson. So, and you can also just reach out to any of the authors. You can get it from them too.
I love that. I love that. And I want to make sure everybody is aware. Allegra said, look, I was the cheerleader. Okay. I was just there for support. Isn't it something when you're a person of service? How God says to you, okay, well, I need you to be here. I need you to do this. And when you recognize what he's saying to you, because sometimes we don't know. We don't know. Sometimes at first we don't really understand the message that is coming to us. But when we get it, okay. And I love that all of you have received the messages that you have and you are sharing them with all of us, because like I said, there's so many people out here dealing with so much hurt, compounded hurt. We've all agreed that there are layers of life that we're all dealing with, but the fact that we're talking about it, the fact that we're sharing, means that we're on a journey to healing. It means that we've begun at least our journey to healing. I want to say, well, first of all, I want to make sure our family members see you all again, because I think it's just so, so important that they know they are able to see each and every one of you, and that they know whose stories they will be reading when they purchase H.E.R.Story 2. I love the stories of transformation. I love the honesty in all of your stories. I love the transparency in all of your stories. You know, again, like we say, we've all dealt we've dealt with some things. We've dealt with some things, but the fact that you all are talking about it, you're sharing your stories, and you're helping other people to deal with what they're working with and working through. That speaks magnitudes. It just speaks volumes, because there are a lot of people out here hurting. So I want to say thank you. Just me personally, me and Chloe. You see, Chloe. We want to say thank you for sharing all. And if you would not mind, when I call your name, would you please say the title of your chapter once again, so that everybody is familiar? They can put the face with the name of the chapter. Allegra, please, would you tell us the name of your chapter?
Birth of Restored Empowerment.
Birth of Restored Empowerment. And Alana, would you tell us the name of your chapter, please?
Rediscovering Me.
Rediscovering Me. And Andrea, would you tell us the name of your chapter, please?
Persevere with Elsa.
Mary Kennedy, would you tell us the name of your chapter, please?
Yes, ma'am. Heal, don't cope. Rethink, relearn, retrain, and return your mind, heart to Him. To heal, submit, and heal, not cope.
Heal, not cope. That right there. Heal, not cope. Amen to that. And Lamar, last but not least at all, would you please tell the title of your chapter in H.I.M.Story? Because you're not in her story, too. You're in
Right. Yes. My chapter in H.I.M.Story is called Father versus Son, Son versus Father.
Father versus son. I cannot thank you enough. Our family members on our socials are sharing with us. They're sharing stories of their own. Viola, I cannot tell you how my heart goes out to you. I can't express just how much. And our other family members who are sharing personal stories of redemption, personal stories of survival. I will say that because some of the things that we've all experienced, you know, we survived. We survived. But we're healing. We're healing. And Lamar, I put it in my pocket, so I'm just going to keep taking it out every now and again. We're victorious. How about that? We are victorious. Viola, April, Fatima, Lysandra. Oh my goodness. All of our family members, Nasir, Julian, Joanne, Nancy, Craig, Joey. I'm saying that's right. That's right. Tanisha, Raphael, everybody. I cannot thank you all enough for sharing your love. Family, you know, this is the part of the show that I just cannot stand, because we get ready to shut it down. We get ready to shut it down. But it's all right, because you know what? All this love in this room right now, it's out here for you. There's a whole net. There's a whole net of all of us that are out here for you. You did hear Carolyn say you can purchase her story. You can purchase him story. And next week on the 11th, you will be able to purchase her story too. Amen.
Amen.
Amen to that. Family, as we wrap up tonight's episode, I extend the utmost gratitude to you for just consistently and constantly supporting love and life and just showing us love. Special thanks to all of our guests, to Carolyn Wilson, to Allegra, Andrea, Alana, Mary Kennedy, Lamar. I know I'm missing somebody. I know I am. And with whomever I'm missing, please charge that to my head and not to my heart. But to all of you, our guests, for sharing your stories, your life, your time, your attention, your spirit. I thank you tremendously. Thank you to the entire WURD family. There you are. Oh, it was Lamar. I didn't even say thank you. Thank you to the entire WURD family. Joanne says thank you to all of you for being the gifts that you are. Nasir says it was just great information from all of you. He says, well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So
And
there
gotta
is
give a shout out to all of. They're just a snippet. Like we all represent. We're all one. So this is all around the world. You know, the 25 women that are in her story, from from New Zealand to Hong Kong to London to Kenya to Barbados, Guyana, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Detroit. Then we got to take it to our kings, and our kings were in Peru, we're in Puerto Rico, Florida, we're in Georgia, we're in Pennsylvania, we're just all around the stinking world. And now we got 25 more women from Argentina, from Bahamas, from London again, from God just said pollinate the world, South Carolina. We're all over the place. There's no stone unturned. There's no land unturned. God gave me the assignment and said, I need you to touch every corner of this globe. So this was intentional because of God's will. So listen, if you want to hear from these stories, that's why I'm shouting out all of my kings and queens. They're all here. Most of them, the names you said were in the books. So I got to give recognition to all of them. Listen, they were like, if I'd have known, I'd have been here. This is what happens. This is what happens. So thank you to everybody. Thank you, Carol, for just opening up your space for us.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I could
Thank you.
no. Listen,
Thank you.
family, I have to say this to you. You know that we're all in this together. I tell you this all the time. Be good to you, but be good to those around you. Have a great night. Be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 through 9 p.m. ET for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We love you.
Thank you.
This